Hi, I'm Harrison. I work in the Willis Group as a postdoctoral researcher here at the University of Bristol.
I'm Liam, and I'm a PhD student in the Willis and Crump group here at the University of Bristol.
When the opportunity came about to work with Chris Willis, applying some of my PhD research to a completely new field to me in total synthesis, it was an opportunity too good to kind of turn down. That combined with the fact that Bristol is still currently #1 on the ref for chemistry, it both attracts me in terms of the group and the institution itself.
So I did my undergraduate studies here and then stayed on to do a PhD on the Technology Enhanced Chemical Synthesis CDT. And then when this project came up as one of the options, I really liked the look of it, and so decided to stick around.
My research involves the chemoenzymatic synthesis or chemoenzymatic total synthesis of natural products. So with that, we work on a variety of different scales, from kind of the decagram down to the single digit milligram kind of scale type things.
Yeah, so I look at synthesizing biosynthetic mimics of intermediates in biosynthetic pathways, and use that to probe the mechanisms of different biotransformations and the formation of polyketides.
Stability tends to be an issue with a lot of the substrates that we work with. In addition to that, there's a lot of stuff that is volatile and lacks chromophores, especially at the latter stages, which can be quite challenging to track when we're doing our purifications.
Yeah, I think a lot of the things that I make aren't UV active either, which can be quite difficult, as well as obviously yields being a problem sort of throughout the synthesis, as well as selectivity. Sort of creating diastereomers and having to separate those out along the route can be quite a challenge.
Usually we purify after either every step. We tend not to telescope as much as possible, so it's usually we have kind of steps or routes that are about 20 stages, so there's a purification step at every one of those. It's highly critical because obviously we tend to report the longest linear route and our yield across the number of steps, so if one of your steps is particularly low yielding, it can have a massive impact on your total overall yield. We're doing all our columns manually, which is fine, it's just a little bit more time consuming, and especially with some of the stuff that either is closely eluting or not UV active, it can be quite difficult to track when monitoring your column fractions, and the number of fractions just goes through the roof.
Yeah, I was doing manual columns as well, and have always done manual columns up until we got the NextGen system. So yeah, similarly, it's doable, but it does take a lot more time and can be more challenging with some of the closer eluting sort of compounds in your mixture.
Yeah, so it kind of rapidly decreases our kind of purification time, especially towards the end of the day when typically you wouldn't normally set up a manual column. It gives you that flexibility to quickly run something through some silica, and actually you're then a step forward going into your next day. And with a lot of our stuff, especially at the latter stages, not being UV active, having that ELS gives us that extra kind of security and knowing where in the column fractions it's already come off, which is brilliant.
Yeah, it's made it a lot quicker and a lot faster. And I think like my productivity has increased in terms of being able to get more reactions done, especially when you are sort of using the material you've just columned in the next step. Like Harrison said, it means that you can get it done all in one day, and then the next day you're ready to go with your next reaction. I've also found that sort of towards the end of my route, a lot of my compounds are quite polar, so having the sort of reverse phase column and using that has been really beneficial for purifying those more polar compounds.
So I'd previously worked with Teledyne in a previous role, so I knew of the instruments well, and then when I contacted them, they were really, really efficient in setting up a demonstration unit with the ELS already fitted, which was perfect for us because we knew that if we were to go ahead with a purchase, we needed that ELS. That demonstration was great, it lasted 2 weeks, and that basically sold us on the instrument there and then.
Yeah, I think having the demonstration was really beneficial. It meant that we could all try it out as a group and figure out how, what works, what doesn't work, and things like that. And we did that with multiple different sort of systems, and yeah, Teledyne came out on top.
I think it's been a really good experience. Yeah, everything's always been really efficient. really well communicated. Like we said, getting the demo in was really quick, and we were able to have it for a couple of weeks, which was a really good period of time. Getting quotes and everything for new kind of consumables like the columns is really quick, really efficient. It's just quite handy to work with, yeah.